what was maybe one of the most surprising things that happened to you on draft day, something you didn't expect going into it? Because, look, you can only prepare so much for this thing, right? Once the day comes, things always don't go according to script. What was something that maybe stood out to you that was a little different that you didn't expect going into draft day?
As far as just waiting for the draft, I didn't know it would take so long, for the pick to keep getting called. I think it's like 5 minutes in between each pick, something like that. So, it's a waiting game. That was the biggest surprise. I didn't expect to, be there so long. But everything else, I just took it how it went and just went with the flow.
Delon, you have a brother that went to the league, Delon Wright, and what was that night before the draft? What was that experience for you? I mean, what were you going through? What type of emotions are these guys going through the night before the draft? I mean, you at least had a brother that kind of could prepare you, but I know you still go through those type of emotions and not knowing what's going on or what's going to happen. What is that feeling like?
Yeah, it's a great feeling. The whole time you're pretty much anxious just to see where you're going, and just have to calm your nerves sometimes and just relax. That was probably the easiest thing for me, was just to relax and just have fun with it.
Delon Wright joining us here on Behind the Mic on this NBA draft evening. Delon was selected 20th overall back in 2015 by the Toronto Raptors. Talk about the organization maybe up there in Toronto since you entered the league, Delon, how things have kind of evolved. When you come in initially after being drafted as a rookie, that process from where it begins day one for you at that point, and really to where, for you specifically with this Toronto Raptors franchise, how things have progressed. So take us through that journey in kind of snippets if you can.
Yeah, so after I got drafted, I flew out that same night. I got to Toronto from LA around like 8 a.m. and I went straight to a press conference, and I toured the city of Toronto. And then just coming in, they treat the rookies like well. It's a first class organization. We have so many resources that they provide for us. Whether it's to find a new place or, flights for your parents, whatever you need, they pretty much provide it. So it was an easy transition.
Delon, you were like a key component for Toronto Raptors. Let's say you went up in the ranks. I've actually followed you when you were even in college. You was a great player.
Appreciate that.
And you're at Toronto and you're doing your thing over there. And just tell us a little bit about Toronto in general, playing with DeMar DeRozan, who's also a local, an LA guy, and also you playing with Kyle Lowry. How do those guys kind of mentored you, or did they take you under their wing and kind of show you the ropes? And I know you had the coach of the year, Dwayne Casey, who's no longer with you. Also, just him, how did he also come in there and kind of like mold you a little bit?
Yeah, so my first, obviously DeMar, I've been knowing him since before I was in high school. He used to play with my brother, obviously, in the Drew League and stuff like that. So we already had a kind of a relationship. But as far as Kyle Lowry, when I first got there, he made sure every day, my rookie year, I was working out early with him, putting up shots in a weight room with him. So that was really cool for me to be able to have those two guys looking after me.
I wanted to get back and ask you this question. I think I wanted to touch on it a little bit. You guys got now in your organization, you got a new coach, and I want to know what are you excited about being with Nick Nurse, and then also what are you going to miss about Dwayne Casey?
So we have a new coach, obviously. I think it'll be exciting to grow with a new coach. With Coach Casey, he was already established when I got here, so he did his best to help me. But with Coach Nurse, I think we'll be able to grow together as long as I'm in Toronto. So I think that's most exciting. And as far as missing Coach Casey, he was probably one of the most easygoing NBA coaches that people have ever played for. So that's what I've heard about him. and he was really a player's coach. He kind of let us dictate, how we want to play, and he will, oversee it. But he was a great coach.
Was it helpful that they hired within the organization and that they didn't go outside? Someone who was familiar with what you guys did this past year. Is that beneficial to what you guys are trying to obviously accomplish here moving forward?
Yeah, it's very beneficial because we won't have to change up much things. Coach Nick was in charge of the offense, so that was probably the hardest part to adjust to. Is a new offense. The defensive stuff is, it's universal in the NBA, so it wouldn't be hard to adjust to. So I think it's going to be an easy transition to play for Coach Nurse. And
I got to ask you, Delon, everybody's talking about, of course, LeBron James and him leaving the Cleveland Cavaliers. We don't know if that's going to actually be true or not. Nobody knows that. I know that's like NBA players, you guys get asked these type of things every time it comes around free agency time, where you're going to go, and you guys kind of want to just, kind of reflect on everything before you make a decision. Do you think, and I know LeBron's his own man, you're your own man, of course, but in general, do you feel that LeBron should stay in the East? Or you think it would be best for the NBA, or should he go to the West, where there's a lot of heavy hitters over there?
I don't see how it affects the NBA if he goes to the West. I think it'll be a new team. You look at him, right? His team, he was the best player. They still got by the Golden State. So yeah. It don't matter who was going to face Golden State. So that, as far as that, and I don't know. I think he'll stay in Cleveland. I think that's probably the best place for him is Cleveland. Anywhere else, he have to start over and try to build up a new team.
Hey, what do the guys think across the NBA when we have big-time free agents come about, whether it be this summer or in the past, such as a LeBron, Paul George, etc.? What do the guys across the league think about that? Maybe in some markets where it's not being publicized that some of these big-time free agents want to go to or have maybe as much interest in, such as other teams. What is kind of the general consensus around the league? We hear a lot of talk about the super teams being formed now. There's more talk about that than it's ever been in the history of the league. What are some general thoughts from maybe some players on your team and you guys there up in Toronto?
I mean, guys are free to go wherever they want, so I can't be mad if a guy wants to go join another player to win a championship. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's my take on it. If they want to go to that team, still have to beat them. I can't be making excuses.
And Delon, my last question is for you, brother. What's the expectation for you guys this upcoming season? I mean, you guys are the top dog this past season with the number 1 seed. Of course, you guys lost to Cleveland. However, you come back in the following year. What's the mindset like coming back in next year, and especially for you? Like, what is your goal for next season coming in with the new coach as well?
My goal is to come back, better than I left. That's always the main goal. You want to add to, what your body of work. And I think as far as the team, we've been trying to win a championship since I've been here, going on 4 years now. We haven't been successful due to LeBron James, but one of these days we're going to get over the hump. Hopefully, it's next year we can finally get a championship for Toronto.
His name's Delon Wright, member of the Toronto Raptors. All the best to you going forward the rest of this offseason, Delon, into next year as well. We're definitely rooting for you. We appreciate you coming on the program tonight.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys for having me.
Thank you, Delon.